So, your child wants to play an instrument. That's fantastic. But now you're at this classic musical crossroads, facing a big decision. Do you start them on this simple, easy-to-play recorder, or do you jump right in with the elegant orchestral flute? As we're about to see, it's a bigger choice than you might think. Because here's the thing, this isn't just about picking an instrument. It's really about choosing the starting line for one of two totally different musical journeys. One is like a gentle, scenic trail, and the other? Well, that's a direct but much steeper climb. All right, to really wrap our heads around this decision, let's kick things off with a quick side-by-side look at what we're dealing with. And wow, you can see the trade-offs right away. With the recorder, you've got something that's perfect for younger kids, costs less than ordering a pizza, and they get the joy of making a sound within minutes. The flute, on the other hand, is for older kids, it costs a whole lot more, and getting that very first successful note, that can take weeks of practice. So let's explore that first path, the journey that kicks off with the recorder. I want you to think of this as the gentle, scenic trail, the one that builds up confidence and lays some amazing groundwork for the future. The real beauty of the recorder path is that it's just paved with these quick wins. That first sound is so easy to make, and it just sends their confidence soaring. And the whole time they're having fun, they're secretly building this powerful musical foundation. You know, learning to read music and understand rhythm, often right there in their school classroom. But you know, every gentle trail has some potential detours. Physically, the way you breathe and finger a recorder is really different from a flute, and that can create habits that have to be unlearned later. And hey, let's be honest, for an older kid, it can be seen as just a starter instrument, which might actually slow them down if the flute is the real goal. And this right here, that low barrier to entry, is just key. For about $20, your child can be on their way. If they lose interest, it's not a huge loss. But if they love it, you've just unlocked a new passion for the price of a movie ticket. All right, let's switch over to path number 2, the direct but steeper climb. This path is for the child who is physically ready and just knows without a doubt that the flute is their instrument. The first major challenge on the flute path is a concept called embouchure. Now, unlike a recorder where you just, blow, the flute needs a very precise mouth shape to direct the air. Just mastering that one skill can take days or sometimes even weeks. But the reward for tackling that steep climb? It's huge. Your child is learning their dream instrument from day one, and they're developing all the right physical habits right from the start. This path opens up a whole world of performance opportunities in bands and orchestras with an instrument they can play for the rest of their lives. But that start, it is undeniably tough. The learning curve can be pretty frustrating. It demands a certain physical readiness. We're talking about things like hand size, arm length, and even having their permanent front teeth, so that immediate gratification is much lower, which means it really requires a kid with patience and determination. And the financial commitment definitely reflects that steeper climb. You're looking at over $300 to buy a beginner flute, or you can rent one for around $30 a month. It's a significant investment right from the start. So what happens if you take that scenic recorder trail and then decide you want to merge onto the direct flute highway? What skills actually make the leap with you, and which ones do you have to leave behind? Okay, this is where starting with the recorder really pays off. The most important mental skills of music transfer over completely. Reading notes, understanding rhythm, training their ear, and especially the discipline of practice, all of this gives your child a massive, massive head start. However, and this is a big one, all the physical skills have to be relearned from scratch. The mouth shape, the hand position, the entire fingering system, and how to use their breath, it's a complete reset. For a little while, your child is going to feel like a brand new beginner all over again. But check this out. This timeline shows that while that physical transition takes a few months to feel comfortable, that mental foundation from the recorder is like a powerful accelerator. In fact, it can cut the time it takes to get really proficient on the flute roughly in half. That is an incredible head start. So how do you use all of this to choose the right path for your child? Well, it really comes down to just mapping out your own family situation. Answering these 4 simple questions will give you a remarkably clear direction. If you find yourself saying yes to the first 3, then that gentle, scenic trail of the recorder is probably your best bet. But if you're answering yes to that last question and your child is ready for it, then the direct climb of the flute might just be the way to go. Ultimately, just remember this. The goal isn't just to master an instrument. It's to foster a love of music. The discipline, the focus, the perseverance, those are the real prizes, and they have value no matter which instrument they come from. The best path is always the one that keeps your child engaged and excited. By understanding the terrain of these two distinct paths, the gentle trail versus the steep climb, you're no longer just guessing. You can now make a confident choice that sets your child up for a joyful, rewarding, and successful musical adventure. So which journey is it going to be?